Oh, I can't cry because this glitter is getting in my eyes and it hurts. Hi Mal Pals, welcome to my living room. I just wanted to do a quick little intro on this subject, and after this part I will include the video diaries that I did, which is just a few, and I'll get into why here in a second. So I think it's funny because it is almost 3 weeks now past my surgery, and I just today went by myself, not necessarily grocery shopping because I'm not supposed to lift anything for like a few more weeks, but I went to just grab some things like eggs, and then I went to Target and I walked around and I looked at all the new fun spring stuff they have, and just kind of like a day out for myself. And I got home and I was in so much pain that I thought I probably couldn't film this, and I thought, no, this is kind of, you know, in a way perfect, because I'm not here to just be like, oh, perfect Polly, feeling great. This recovery did not go at all like other people's recoveries went. This has been very painful. What else can I say? For those of you who didn't watch the video that I did with my husband before I had the surgery and you don't know, I have an autoimmune disease, so my healing process is taking a lot longer than the norm. And for some reason in my mind, I didn't really think that was going to be a factor. And so during this healing process, I have been getting very frustrated with myself, and it's been very emotionally draining, but it's my fault. And I've had to like kind of, you know, really incorporate a lot of love, self-love, and, you know, soul searching and meditation, like calm down, you know, this is your life. A lot of times, you know, for those of you who have chronic illnesses as well, you know, it is very difficult to even accept that you're sick sometimes, even when you're having a flare-up and you're in bed. What is it, Chewy? Chewy's not feeling well either, probably because of the nuclear explosion, not nuclear, but the petrochemical plant that blew up. We're trying to keep our dogs inside and stay inside as much as possible, even though I went out today. That was smart. I tend to be very hard on myself. I am a perfectionist in not necessarily like organization and counting things and stuff like that, but I'm a perfectionist in, I feel like if I'm not doing something productive, then I don't feel like a lot of self-worth, which is stuff that I have to deal with in therapy. But just to let you guys know, that is something that goes along with chronic illness. So that's been difficult. I've been trying to be easier on myself. I thought today would be me being easier on myself, but it has caused a lot of pain, and the pain is like lower belly pain. But anyway, so when I woke up from surgery, and I've had other surgeries, like worse surgeries. I've had sinus and 2 septoplasty sinus surgery twice, and those were incredibly painful, but this was the most painful surgery that I've had. When I woke up, I was in so much pain, crying and like just almost screaming, but I've never woken up out of anesthesia so quickly. And the nurses didn't realize that she didn't just cauterize my tubes, she clamped them. So that was kind of like, I guess, a miscommunication. So they didn't give me enough pain medication intravenously. So they immediately, when they realized that I didn't have my tubes cauterized, but I had them clamped, I don't even know how that gets confused, but hospitals are crazy, dude. Like, things get intense and switched up, and partly why my dad is dead. So I always preach to people, be your own advocate, especially when you're in the hospital, or doctors, because they have other patients. It's not just you. So if you're feeling something's not right, like say something. And this I couldn't help because I was just like, oh my God, I was squirming. It was awful. So they had to give me so much. I think she went into the IV like 3 times, and I forget the pain medication she used, but it wasn't morphine, it was something else. Then they also offered me a Lortab with something, and it was like supposed to be really strong, but Lortab makes me very nauseous, and I was so scared to throw up that I said no. And I wish that I would have just dealt with the nausea and throwing up, because I threw up later anyway. I didn't take that. They accidentally filled my prescription 45 minutes away from where we live. And so I was catching up like pain-wise the next 2 days. I went into a flare-up, had an extremely high fever of 104, and probably should have gone to the emergency room, but the way I was feeling, I thought there's no way that I can leave this house right now. So needless to say, this is not necessarily an easy procedure. When you read it online and people are like, oh yeah, the next day, you know, walk, 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 get that gas out, like that was not me. Like the nurses were like, just get home and do a lot of walking and you'll feel fine. But I could barely breathe without pain. Like I couldn't do anything for like 4 days. And finally I could walk from one end of the house to the front door and keep walking back and forth. And I didn't really have a lot of gas that they put in me. I don't know, that wasn't really an issue for me. That I thought that was gonna be the main issue, because usually that's where the pain comes from, that's the main issue. But for me, it was just overall lower stomach pain. And then how they have you in surgery is they like put you on the table, and then there's like a hole in the bottom of the table, and there's like this foam thing, and you sit in it, and you know, you don't have any pants or underwear on, and so they can like go in your vagina and then also cut and like see everything. So they have to spread your legs. So this part of my legs, I guess this is my hip flexors or whatever, from being spread apart for so long, that almost hurt more than my stomach did. And I was just, I cannot even describe the pain. And that's because I have arthritis. So all this to say, if you're someone that goes through this surgery, and I'm not necessarily have a chronic illness, but it's not as easy peasy for you, don't be too hard on yourself. Because like I said, we're going on week 3 and I can't do much. And I'm doing probably way more than I should, which is dumb, because you're supposed to heal. And if you don't heal, then the healing process is longer. For me, I also read that they go in like above or below the belly button. I'll show you guys, it's kind of gross. I can't show you the lower incision because that's like really low, but it's about like 1/2 inch and it's not very large. I don't even think I'm gonna have scarring from it. They actually went into my belly button. Sorry, it's kind of like, it's still a little bit red and stuff. I'm not supposed to touch it, so just let the water rinse over it. And then I also have like an antibacterial wash. So that's where they went in. Overall, emotionally, I was like nervous that I was gonna like wake up and be like, oh my God, what have I done? But this was a decision that was made over the last 5 years and kind of my entire life, because I've been sick my entire life. So I don't have any of that kind of residual emotional, oh, now I really can't have kids, because it's just not really been an option for sure since we talked to my doctor 5 years ago. You guys have really helped me not feel so alone and isolated, because I don't know anyone else personally other than my psychiatrist who has had this done. So thank you guys so much for sharing and being open with me right back so it could help me. You guys are so amazing and I'm so grateful. Bleeding wise, it was more like a heavy period for about a week. I'm not bleeding anymore. I think it was a little over a week that I was bleeding. That sounds so gross, but it is what it is. I was bleeding and it was from the surgery. And I think also some of the bleeding might have been because I stopped birth control. That was one big thing for me during this, was that I was looking forward to, and another factor into this equation, that I wanted to get off birth control. I've been on, you know, synthetic hormones since I was 14, and I just am so ready to be done with it. It's so not good for you, but you know, what options do we have as women? You know, I know there's condoms and other stuff, but condoms are not 100%, you know, and if you're good about taking your pill, or you have an IUD and stuff like that, you know, you're pretty good. Of course, there's always a chance, but synthetic hormones are just so bad. And I think even IUDs release some synthetic hormone. Like, it's not just a little metal thing in there. I'm pretty sure. I haven't felt a difference quite yet, but like I said, to the day, it's been, you know, we're on week 3 of also not being on birth control, but I've also had to take like pain medication, lay down a lot, so I haven't really been able to notice many physical changes. I'm feeling pretty okay, like, as I go along. Emotionally, I think it's just from like, hey, like, I would need to work out, like, why can't I just go walk around Target and things like that. That can kind of be a little bit depressing, but thank God I'm on antidepressants, because I think this would be a lot different if I wasn't. And that's because I have clinical depression. Not saying you should get on antidepressants if you're having surgery. I have clinical depression and anxiety, so I have to be on medication for that. So I think that has helped a lot. I think that is about it. I'll go ahead and get into the video diaries. Well, my SD card ran out of room. I'll go ahead and get into the video diaries. Like I said, I'm sorry that it's not a lot, but I think I explained that the recovery wasn't vloggable. I think it would have been disturbing to watch. It wasn't good, it wasn't pleasant. I don't think you guys are missing out on anything, but I definitely wanted to film when I could and kind of capture my emotions at the time, because I love watching stuff like that, because it kind of helps me have an idea of what you know, I'm gonna go through. So hopefully this is going to help you ease your mind. Well, you guys, I'm going on day 4 of recovery. I don't even know if Keegan vlogged at the hospital, to be honest. And the reason why this is the first day that I am vlogging is because this recovery has not been easy, and not like, oh, cramping, gotta lay down, too tired to vlog. Like, first night, laying down, not even first night, like, get home. No, not even get home. I woke up from surgery and they didn't give me enough pain medication because they didn't realize that she didn't cauterize my fallopian tubes. She clamped them. I'm using this right now. I haven't been able to play with makeup at all, but I have been with skincare, and I put on the Summer Fridays overtime mask this morning. We stayed in the hospital, like, probably my surgery was at 9 and we didn't leave until about 2, just because of the pain I was in and them trying to catch up with the pain. I know, it's frustrating. Day 4, I'm feeling better, just a little crampy, not as much bleeding, because you do bleed after this surgery. So still trying to tell myself to take it easy, because a lot of times I just want to like get back into the swing of things and like work, but I've finally learned to, just because you're feeling a little bit better doesn't mean get back to it, because that sets you back, especially if you have a chronic illness. So I've learned to make myself matcha. Keegan ordered me some and it's delicious. I've never made it or had it other than Starbucks, like matcha chai tea latte, which is basically a slice of cake. It's not good for you. But this is just organic coconut milk, organic matcha from Japan, and local honey. And it's delicious, and I'm trying to decrease my caffeine intake, decrease my processed sugar intake, decrease a lot of things, because I'm also going off the pill, and I will also be documenting the next few months on how I'm feeling with that. Look how orange it makes my skin. Also, I was able to save my piercings. I thought they grew back during surgery, and they didn't, so there they are. So hip hip hooray for that. Gotta go potty. You guys could probably hear Chewy drinking water. I know I haven't vlogged a lot of the recovery process. This is like the second clip, and it's been now today, it's a week and 3 days. Ignore the floors are a little bit of a mess. There's stuff everywhere. Part of my recovery process, Keegan decided to rip up our carpet in our bedroom and lay hardwood. So that was exciting. And even though it's been a week, and 3 days now. I'm still a little crampy. It hits me hard when I realize I've been moving too much. You know, it's not emotional for me, like the finality of children or anything. I feel like I have known that since I was little, but it's been weird because I've been in the mood of not sharing, partly because of hate comments and partly because of, I don't know, when I go through hard things, and maybe this is because I grew up as an only child. Nacho just farted. My little fart and snort machine. What are you doing? Oh my God, okay, careful with my stomach. This poor guy has not been able to be around me that often because he is, obviously, he's, you know, a little over a year, so he's still pretty, like, playful. Like I was saying, I grew up as an only child. I have 2 half brothers, but I grew up as an only child. And so I tend to, when I go through hard times or like stressful times, I turn inward because that's what I naturally did as a kid. You know, when you grew up as an only child and you don't have brothers and sisters to kind of turn to, you just turn to yourself, you self-soothe. And I have found myself wanting to share less and less of my life, and that's okay, but also not okay, because when I started my channel, I wanted to be very open because I know that my life has not been the easiest, and I knew that like my story and the things that I go through would really help people. And I have been trying to remind myself of that fact. This was the scariest thing for me to ever have opened up about, and I've opened up about almost everything. I don't know. Hate comments get to everybody, but this time it just like had me go like, oh my gosh, like I just don't want to share anymore. And also this recovery has just been so physically painful. It was not easy on me. You know, I went into a flare-up the first day, had a fever, almost had to go to the emergency room, and I'm sure that I will talk more about all of this with like a sit down or something whenever I film the video. I'm kind of like dreading it. I don't know. I feel like too, because it kind of reopens the wound of everything, like having to film another video. But I really wanted to do this for people who are curious, you know, of like the recovery process. But I mean, a lot of it was just me sleeping and laying down, and you know, the cramping was really, really bad. And it's also been a week and 3 days since I've been off birth control. So 9 days. So normally you're off 7 days, the pill. So we're into 3 days of like, am I feeling hormonal because of whatever? Or am I feeling hormonal because it's in my mind? This has just been a very, very, not just physical recovery, but spiritual, mental, all of it. So walking around for the first, I mean, I couldn't walk basically the first 2 days. 3rd day, 4th day, walking was very difficult. I was very hunched over. It just felt like, you know, my incisions were gonna just rip, and also like my abdominal wall was very sore and tender. I don't even know where I'm going with this. This has just been very difficult for me. I hope this is in some way helpful, sharing all of this. The pain medication really didn't seem to help the pain. That was one thing that was very difficult, but also part of me going into a flare-up after surgery was a lot of that pain as well. So joint pain, joint swelling, you know, headaches, migraines, stuff like that. So that was a lot. Excuse you. In my mind, I thought, oh, we'll like film like how I'm doing each day, updates, you know, how much bleeding, movement, whatever, but it was just so bad that filming was not, it just wasn't what I expected. I'll just say that. I don't know. It transcends like sadness, and it transcends any type of like loneliness. I have felt something that I haven't felt in quite some time, and I talked about that in the beginning of this. Just, I wanted to isolate, and I just felt myself turning inward, which is usually fine and healthy, but during something like this, by the way, great. I reviewed the Glossier Play products. I ordered a lot, like one of each, and the glitter is now getting in my eye. That hurts. Anyway, I don't know, I can't even express verbally my emotions. This is why I need to start the podcast again and get Keegan like, let's go, you know, let's do this. I'm very nervous to do the final sit down video and filming and talking about everything. It's just not the and I have to reiterate, it is not the finality of not having kids. It's the being almost like the odd one out now, especially in my age group. The odd one out of people we meet, the odd one out of, you know, friends we already have with kids. And it's just, you know, that is definitely just in my mind. Like, it's just in my mind. And I have to remind myself of that. You know, I've started a new freaking motto and mantra for myself and my channel, you know, love yourself so you can be your best self. And I feel like I haven't, oh, I can't cry because this glitter is getting in my eyes and it hurts. So that's something I have to really work on, you know. Hey, I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys, I don't know, found some comfort in it. If you're going through the same thing, you know, God bless you. It's a lot emotionally, physically, and all that stuff. I just think that women are so incredible. You know, we're able to give birth, give life, also, you know, do other incredible things in life, and we're so strong and we get through so much. And I just also think it's incredible the support we give each other. I'm just so proud of us. Like, it's just from you guys reading your comments and messages, and you guys really showed up and showed out. So thank you. I love you guys so much, and I really, truly freaking mean it. It is not just something to say on my channel. That is the 100% truth. You guys mean so much to me, and I don't know, I hope my videos return the favor. So also, I've had to repeat this to myself. Love yourself so you can be your best self. And, you know, just remember that. I will see you guys in the next video. I think next Tuesday. It's a fun one. It's way less serious. It's fun. I promise. You guys will enjoy Tuesday's video. And I will see you Tuesday. Thank you.